Hello everybody. I got really sick last week and didn't really have time to make an experience video, so I decided to do something a little bit quick and easy and dirty, and also something that I kind of wanted to do. It's pretty commonly known that what a lot of devs do is improve their game from the top down. That is, what affects the player base at the higher ranks is usually what gets fixed or nerfed or buffed first. I wanted to talk about some of the things that are affecting those in the mid to low elo, since I happen to live there, and additionally things that affect the general player base, and I wanted to get some of the easy and obvious stuff out of the way, and also give some ideas that I think could help the game as a whole. Part 1. This is the obvious stuff. The game obviously desperately needs to benefit from a pick-ban system. We know this, we know it's going to happen at some point, it's just a question of when. I don't think at the moment it's going to happen, and right now, honestly, not that big of a deal. I think the game's still very, very healthy without it. There's a lot of really, really good counterplay that's happening at the higher levels, so I wouldn't even worry about it at the moment, but it would benefit from that as a whole in the long run. The other thing that everyone's going to bring up is the player count. Yes, the player count is going down. There's other stuff happening right now. We all know it. It's fine. Obviously, the game is going to genuinely improve from an influx of players going into open beta. We know this is also probably going to happen. Apparently, there was some sort of huge leak thread that happened too, but apparently there's something in the summer that might happen. I don't know how much faith I put in this, but stuff might happen in the summer. Cool, great, whatever. And additionally, the quote-unquote grind. Now, this can mean many things for a couple different people. One, it could mean rank for some people. The loss of ranked mode kind of threw a wrench in some people's idea of what the game was supposed to be. I personally did not mind one bit. I played ranked for about 2 weeks, and I was just like, it's just the normal game, but different, you know? And I will say one of the most fun things that I've done in the game for a very long time was grinding for the Christmas skins. That was pretty fun. There's some I didn't get, and I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of sad I missed them, but it's fine. I had fun trying to get them all. The game very much benefits from a lot of this stuff, and I think doing that in the future will give us something to work forward to. But again, it's a closed alpha. We're not going to have to really worry about that for a bit. Part 2. These are my ideas addressing gameplay issues in mid to low elo. These are things that it affects some high-level games, but you don't see this a lot from pro play and stuff like that. First and foremost, levers. We get a lot of levers. There's a ton of levers in mid to low. I haven't seen it happen a lot in high, but there is a lot of it happening. So what I would recommend, whenever someone leaves, literally, as soon as they leave, replace their character with a bot AI. Literally, just replace their character with a bot AI. We've seen that they do pretty okay. A pretty okay bot AI would be better than just having a just non-moving player on the enemy team. And how do we resolve that once the player might actually return? Immediately on their reconnection into the game should pause and then return. So, oh no, our Vindicta DC'd. The game immediately replaces the Vindicta with a medium level AI. Game can play for about 30 seconds. You know, it'll shoot, maybe deny some orbs or something like that. And then on the player's return, game immediately pauses, the player assumes control, and then 3, 2, 1, giving that player 3 seconds to kind of orient themselves within the game and go, okay, we're good. And then they can start playing again. I think that puts some trust in the player to say, hey, we know you know how to play the game. Here's where you are. If you're surrounded by enemies, well, that sucks. You kind of disconnected from the game, whether by accident or for real. We don't know, but I think this is incredibly fair. Your team might flame you for it, but that goes into my second point. Hey, why are we flaming people so frequently in this game? Good God. I do it a lot off mic. I talk about players that didn't help or didn't do anything off mic, but most of the time it's because they're being this toxic, completely dumb player. There's a lot of people that are just absolutely just dickwads in this game. Let's be real. I can report them for voice chat abuse and everything like that, and there's no real penalty, it seems like, for them at the moment. It doesn't seem like it really does anything. There's no notification whether or not it has. I know that might be a little bit difficult to implement. I don't claim to be a programmer. I don't know how it works, but it would be nice to know that something happened to the people that you're reporting. Also, there's a thing that we need to talk about in terms of like overall gameplay health. Steamrolling. It's a thing. It happens a lot. The steamroll defense in this game is a little bit problematic at the moment, especially in mid to low. Once a team gets a 10k, 15k soul lead on the other one. The urn doesn't necessarily help too much in that instance, because at that point, that team is just running us over most of the time. The urn doesn't really do much, because if you're trying to run urn most of the time, especially if it's on your side of the map, if they have a soul lead, they are basically just going to start pushing towards that no matter what, because they know, yeah, we could just run them over. There's no penalty for them to just run them over and kill us all when we're trying to run urn, and oh look, we have urn now, and then they get more of a soul lead. There could be a fortify mechanic. That would be kind of nice. Something to fortify the structures on our side of the base, but unfortunately there's not too much that could help at the moment. I think we might need some additional secondary bosses or something like that to help with those kind of buffs that really help a team that's struggling, that we can work on our side of the map, that they can't really push too easily. Basically just needing something to push that soul lead back in our favor that isn't just the urn, because the urn is a very temperamental mechanic that doesn't necessarily work all the time. And sometimes that soul lead is generated by one single player. Right now, you've seen it a lot. The Calico that gets 20k souls at like 10 minutes, and everyone's like, how the hell did they do that? And your Vindicta's just like beaten into the corner, like crying, just with like a bruised face, just like, help me. I think there's a way to work with this. I think there's a way that we could add a fun mechanic. This is an idea that I had, and I wanted to throw this out here. These like fortify mechanics, like additional buffs and stuff like that. There is in lore a monster hunting society called the Baxter Society or something like that. It's what Shiv works for. It's who Grey Talon used to work for, I think, in the lore. I think in your base, let's say in the secret entrances on the right and left-hand sides of the shrines. Did you know those are there? Nobody knows they're there. They're very useful. But in those rooms, there's just nothing at the moment. There's absolutely nothing. I think that the Baxter Society should have a kiosk, like a window or something there. And you can pay a certain amount of souls to activate a fortify mechanic like that. I think it would be a great idea. But additionally, whenever a player gets a soul lead that's a percentage more than the rest of the teams, I want to try implementing this, because I think this could help out a lot. So let's say Calico, 20k souls, everybody else is at 12 to 10, and everyone's like, how the hell do they have so much more? The game recognizes this through some sort of algorithm and says,
Calico is monstrous.
And you go, oh, they're monstrous. Oh, they're monstrous. Okay, they're a monster. And the Baxter board opens up and says, hey, we could open up a bounty on that bitch. We could open up a bounty on that Calico. And so 2 players at the very minimum can go in and say, all right, here's what we do. We accept the bounty. You get paid half up front. And so you get the soul lead to make up on that Calico. Your entire team gets like let's say 2,500 or 3,000 souls at 10 minutes. It can only be activated at 10 minutes, I would say. You get that soul lead back up and you go, okay, we're going to take this right now. But the catch is, within the next 5 minutes of the game, one of the people who activated the bounty has to go kill that player. And if you don't, you have to essentially farm a quarter of the souls that you usually do. You're paying back the loan that you took out, essentially, to go hunt that player. So you are getting a bit of your farm early so that you can take that player down and make your soul lead with your team back up. I think this is a really fun mechanic. I think in universe it makes sense, and I think there could be something to this to balance that game, especially for mid to low elo. Again, these are just ideas. I just wanted to get that one off my chest too. It seemed like a really fun idea. Also, I needed to make something because, again, I was sick with the flu earlier this week. I should be streaming right now. Come say hi. Come say hi. Yeah.